Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Ayan. So before we start, I would just like to welcome everyone who's inside Zoom. Oh, adiwanag ko pala. Ayan. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for those who are inside the room very early. Maraming salamat po. We will start at exactly 5 o'clock. I just wanted to just welcome everyone. Ayan. So, can you type on the chat box where you're watching or joining this webinar from? If you're still at work, medyo maulan dahil mabagyo, ano? Or if you're working from home, ayan. If you're from the government, I think may mga na-suspend na work, no? From some offices, ayan. So, ayan. You working remotely, and thank you. What about the rest? Where are you watching? From Quezon City, from Pasig? Ayan. Thank you and welcome. We'll start at exactly 5 o'clock, so I hope that you stay tuned. This is going to be about around an hour. No, we'll have some time for Q&A, and you're also welcome to request for the materials for this webinar. No, we'll put instructions here later on how you can avail of the exact program presentation and also an e-certificate of participation or attendance. All right, so I'll see you in a couple of minutes. All right. Welcome once again. And now we're officially starting. So welcome to our free webinar on benchmarking that matters, making HR metrics strategic levers. So I hope that this is going to be worth your time. So it's going to be about an hour and a little over an hour of discussion, and I hope that you're gonna be able to have some takeaways and some practical strategies that you can pick up from this learning session. So before we officially start, I would just like to invite everyone and also get to know no who Talent Reach is. Just a quick check. May I know from our audience today who are joining us from the first time? Can you type one on the chat box if this is your first time to join? Wow, madami. Thank you very much and welcome to Talent Reach webinar. Yes, I did have an ad, no? Kasi I wanted to get, have more reach para mas marami tayong mga bagong audience. Ayan. And welcome to Talent Reach. By the way, I haven't introduced myself, but you probably have seen my name on the email. My name is Amy Turla. I am the project manager for Talent Reach. So let me just share my screen here, no? So that I can give you more, just give you a brief background on who we are, who Talent Reach is. Ayan. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. So, sino ba si Talent Reach? So, we were founded in 2015. We've been a trusted HR training and management consultancy company, and we've been empowering organizations by providing strategic people solutions. So, we specialize in designing and customizing training programs on leadership development, performance management, and of course, since our managing director and the speaker for today's webinar is a full-time consultant, we offer also HR consulting services. Ayan. Okay. These are our core services. So we provide HR administration, performance management, and just last May, we've done a face-to-face workshop on job evaluation and analysis, and also designing pay and salary structure. So if you're interested to find out more about these services, you may send us an email. That's info.tr@talentreachph.org. And so these are just some of the training programs that we provide. So you can do a screenshot, no, or you can send us an email if you're interested to find out how more about our training programs. Ayan. Share namin yung mga customized training programs namin. So every month, or at least we try, no, every month, if not every other month, we conduct free webinars such as this one, online, of course, about an hour. So I hope that you are following our Facebook page. And also the recording of this webinar will be posted also on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe so that you get notified. Ayan. So ito yung mga, nakikita nyo yung mga aming mga upcoming pa na webinars. So we're gonna have our premium workshop, which is the HR Compass Masterclass. And towards the end of the year, we're going to have a salary structure analysis. And later, on November, we're going to have our very first event in Angeles. So kung merong mga taga Angeles, Pampanga dyan, so abangan nyo yung aming announcement. We're going to have a short conference there or a workshop. Ayan. So I hope that you follow our Facebook page. So we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, and ayan. So I do hope that you follow us. Okay, so to introduce our speaker, let me share a short video introduction. Justin, let me just stop share here. right. Thank you, Justin. So without further ado, I now give the room or open the room to Mr. Ronnie Turla, Talent Reach founder and managing director, and also certified human resource professional. Please welcome Mr. Ronnie Turla.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to our free webinar for this month entitled Benchmarking That Matters. We're happy to for our our virtual participants to be joining us for today. It's quite a stormy weather out there. Hopefully we'll keep you warm. No? And again, hopefully this will be an informative session for everyone who's joining. No? So far, I know that this is the first time that we are conducting this particular topic, which might be very relevant for us, no? Because we need to be able to upskill ourselves. So for today, in the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to talk about a particular activity, a particular tool that you can use to be able to make your organization more competitive and at the same time in tune with what the market is doing. Okay, so let me just check if let me do an audio check first before I proceed so that you will not miss what I'm going to present. Can you give me a thumbs up sign if my audio is clear, loud and clear? No, and in the event that it is not clear for you, so kindly notify Justin or Amy in the chat box. No? So we have our staff Amy and Justin standing by for any audio problems. No? So I will try to adjust if ever, just in case. Okay, so I see a lot of thumbs up signs. So that means relatively my audio is fine. And hopefully my internet will also not break down in the session. Okay. Okay. So without further ado, let me now jump into our topic at hand so that we can proceed and discuss our topic. And of course, later after the presentation, as customary, we would usually encourage our participants to be able to ask questions, no? And also probably I'll be asking a question, no, to some of our participants. So for me to check whether you have actually learned something from this particular webinar. Okay, so let me just upload the screen. So the topic for today, again, is entitled Benchmarking That Matters, Turning HR Metrics into Strategic Levers. Okay. So again, um, we are here to be able to see how we can improve our HR, by um, analyzing and comparing key practices. No? So I have been into the field of human resource management for the past 2 decades. And again, no, I've gone through some research, no? And because of my role as a consultant, I would always be, clients would always turn to me and ask questions like, how is this in the market? What is the current turnover rate? How do we try to improve our talent acquisition? How do we also try to motivate our employees? What are some best practices? No? Does that sound familiar to you? If that sounds familiar, those questions are typically what you can use, no, to do benchmarking. Usually, benchmarking starts with a question, and with that question that you'd want to answer, goes with it, no, the research skills that you have to be able to implement. So for today, I'm going to give you, no, a snapshot of how benchmarking happens in the field of human resource management. So our agenda for today are the following. No? First, we need to understand what is HR benchmarking. So first off, we need to understand what is HR benchmarking, no? As the title implies. Also, we're going to take a look at an HR benchmarking process, no? And we need to be able to see that, no, and eventually implement that in terms of our practice, no. And I'm also going to show you a sample benchmarking study on the field of compensation. Okay, so we're going to look at how can we apply benchmarking in compensation. But of course, we're not saying that it is only limited to benchmarking in compensation, but it can also be done in other functions and fields of HR. No? Also, towards the end of the presentation, you're going to look at what are some challenges and best practices in HR benchmarking, as well as what could be the future of benchmarking, especially at the advent of artificial intelligence or AI, because of those technologies that we have in our disposal, we have to be able to utilize them, no, and turn it turn it into their to our advantage. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to discuss for today. No, so I hope no that this will be something informative for you. Probably if you're at the middle of a requirement from your management, or you are doing a report no about an HR report no that requires you to do benchmarking. So hopefully this particular webinar should be able to help you. Okay, so before we proceed no with the first topic in the agenda no I'd like us to do a quick participant poll no with the question, what is your biggest challenge in HR benchmarking? Okay, so we have prepared a poll or survey that is located in your chat box. No? So kindly check your chat box for the survey. Okay, so again, the question is, what are the key challenges in HR benchmarking? You may choose one or two of the choices available in the survey. Okay, so again, there's no correct and wrong answer here. So just kindly fill up what you think. So kindly check your your survey, and then kindly click what is your current challenge. Yeah, so let's allow our participants to answer this particular survey. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So far, we've been seeing some answers in terms of data quality and availability so far. We also have misaligned metrics. No? It usually happens no? To us. So far, also, we're seeing change resistance. Okay. So I think that's expected. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So far, data quality and availability seems to be the highest, no? Next to it would be the change resistance. There. Okay. So you may still answer. Let's have 1 minute more for us to be able to close yung ating survey. Okay. For those who have not yet answered, you may still click the survey link in the chat box so that we can see what are the participants' key challenges in HR benchmark. Yeah. Okay. So I think so far we've meron pa ba tayong respondent so far, Justin? Yeah. Okay. So I
I
think
think,
we're good.
yeah.
So based on the survey, we are seeing that the key challenge, based on the survey ranking, we have our data quality and availability. Next is change resistance, no, and then we have misaligned metrics. Okay, so thank you for answering this quick survey for everyone. Okay, let me now proceed, no. So again, the reason why I ask you that no, is somehow, the idea of HR benchmarking is I would say no relatively still new, or at least HR professionals no. So I have been into the certification process of HR professionals no? And I think this is one of the things, no, that challenges an HR person because in terms of introducing data, no, to the company, it is really a challenge for a lot of HR practitioners. Okay, so the first topic, let's now jump into our topic proper. Let's talk about how to understand HR benchmarking. So first off, let's look at some principles of HR benchmarking. First off, we talk about systematic comparison. So HR benchmarking systematically compares HR metrics and practices to identify performance gaps and improvement areas. No? So later on, I will be sharing with you what are the typical HR metrics that you can use, no, to do strategic human resource management. No? Because usually, when you use our HR metrics, it is not just for compliance purposes. It is supposed to be able to trigger strategic human resource management in the company. Okay. Second, the relevance and accuracy. No? Key principles emphasize relevance and accuracy to ensure meaningful and reliable benchmarking results. Obviously, when we do our benchmarking, we need to be relevant. And of course, we need to provide some accurate data because we're doing comparison. No? The third principle under HR benchmarking is continuous improvement. So one of the things that you will achieve when you are doing HR benchmarking is that it will support continuous improvement in the company. No? So by regularly updating your HR practices based on findings, the company would see you as a complete professional. No? Because as an HR professional, we need to be updated. No? We need to do benchmarking, whether we like it or not. No? Because we have to evolve. No, the evolution of human resource management has to happen, and that has to be triggered by the human resource practitioner. Also, another key principle of HR benchmarking is confidentiality. Maintaining confidentiality ensures that sensitive HR data is protected during benchmarking comparison. Okay, one of the things, no, that can become an issue when you do HR benchmarking is the ethical practices that you have, no, especially with regards to confidentiality. Okay, so those are the things that we have to remember when it comes to HR benchmarking. Now, let's talk about this time. What are the types of HR benchmarking? So we have four types, no, but I'd like to focus and zero in with the first two. Okay. So the first one is what they call internal benchmarking. So internal benchmarking compares HR practices within different departments of the same organization to identify best practices. No? One of the ways that you can do that is actually you can do an HR audit. An HR audit allows the HR professional to see, if the policies, the practices inside the company is actually being practiced in different departments. So that is a very good activity that you can do, especially we are already going into the fourth quarter of the year. It might be good for you to look at internally the practices that you have in the company. Okay, so that's what they call internal benchmarking. On the other hand, you also have what we call external benchmarking. External benchmarking evaluates HR practices by comparing them against other companies to gain competitive insights. No? So the purpose of external benchmarking is to look at competition, meaning diba, when you do external benchmarking, you would want to be able to compete for talents, for example, because remember, no, one of the main functions of HR or human resource management is to attract talent. No? And to attract talent, no, we need to be competitive because if we are not competitive, we are still using the old practices that we are accustomed to. No? We might not be appealing to the new generation of employees or talents out there in the market. Okay, so these two are the general types of benchmarking that we can do as an HR practitioner. Now, there's also what we call functional benchmarking, which focuses on comparing specific HR functions such as recruitment or training across organization. Okay? So when you talk about functional benchmarking, you focus you focus on specific functions inside the organization, meaning that you try to compare, what are the practices, or even across organizations, so you will see, you will be amazed that there are different practices and the dynamics regarding the functions will be something for you to find out. No? And of course, another type of HR benchmarking is generic benchmarking, which is comparing general HR processes and practices regardless of industry or function for broad improvements. No? So sometimes management would dictate na, sige, let's just try to do general benchmarking because we would just want to be aligned with how other industries are doing it. No? I remember, just to a quick story, when I was in the retail industry, no, and during that time, the call center or the BPO industry was very booming already, no? So nandun na nagsisimula na siya. And because of that, we had to also understand not just our own industry, no, in terms of practices, but we also had to look at the other practices of the other industries, of which nakikita namin yung best practices that we can try to adapt. And so we did, no? And because of that, we were able to really attract better type of talents, no, coming from different industries as well. Okay, so again, those are the different types of benchmarking that we will have: internal, external, functional, and of course, generic benchmarking. Now, what is the importance of benchmarking in HR strategy? So here are some of the important things to remember. When we do benchmarking for us to create HR strategy, we're able to do data-driven decisions. So benchmarking enables HR to make informed decisions, no? To again improve overall company effectiveness. Second, of course, we identify best practices. No? So benchmarking helps us identify what is the industry best practice to adapt and again optimize our organizational process. Okay, so those are the things that why benchmarking is important. Of course, it will enhance our competitiveness. Benchmarking will boost organizational competitiveness by continuously improving HR practices. And of course, another importance of benchmarking in HR is aligning HR with the goals of the company. So benchmarking ensures HR activities are aligned closely with organizational objectives. Now, this time, let's talk about what are our HR benchmarking process. No? So let me just acknowledge, people are still coming in to our webinar. So thank you very much for joining us for today. I'd just like to say hi to everyone who's joining us so far in our Zoom room for today. Yeah, so I hope you are having a good time listening to this particular webinar. Okay, so just to continue, ano ba yung ating HR benchmarking process? Okay. So the process of HR benchmarking includes the following steps, major steps. The first is, of course, planning, and then collection of information, then analysis of the data. Next is to implementation, and then finally you have monitoring. Okay, so let's try to explore each stage. For planning, the question that you have to answer is, how do I determine what to benchmark? Okay, so we try to link benchmarking efforts to the organization's strategic plan. So it will be very helpful if when you do your benchmarking, it is attached to the strategic planning of the organization. So that means na kung merong strategic planning yung company, i-attach mo siya doon because it will be relevant na magkakaroon ka ng benchmarking. Okay? Because remember, diba, one of the things that you're going to do whenever you're going to do strategic planning is external analysis. Yung tinatawag nating PEST, political, economic, social, technological. Yan. So yun yung mga tinatawag na PEST analysis. Okay? So also determine what internal information will be gathered. No? And then of course, identify internal benchmarking opportunities. So kailangan mo mag-prepare ng data. Okay? So in short, so the first step is to plan. No, answer the question, how do I determine what to benchmark? Okay, so that's the first step. Next is to collect the information. No? So you have to answer, where do I find benchmarking information? So later on, if you have that question, I will try to answer it. No? Of course, my answer will not be conclusive to everyone, no? Because iba-iba yung data na hinahanap natin. But I will lead you to the trusted and credible sources of benchmark data. Okay, so that's the second step. The third step is, of course, analysis of the data, meaning what do I do with all of this data? Okay, so you need to analyze data for common findings, suggested improvements, and gaps. Okay, and then finally, you have implementation of the benchmarking. You have to present findings, establish goals, implement specific changes, and monitor progress. Okay, and of course, you redefine benchmarking as part of a continuous improvement process. So that means benchmarking is not just a one-time activity, it is a continuous activity for the HR professional. Now, when we identify relevant HR metrics and KPIs, here are some of them. No? Includes turnover rates, time to hire. So let's try to explore further what are some HR metrics that we can try to benchmark. Okay, let's start. Uh, uh, is my audio still clear to everyone?
Yes.
Let me just check. Ayan. Okay, so let me continue. No? For our recruitment metrics, we try to uh, use recruitment metrics to compare talent acquisition efficiency. And this includes the following. No? By the way, no, just as announcement, for those of us joining our webinar for today, and if you so decide no, that you think that the presentation or the materials are relevant for you, you may reach out to us later if you want to get a copy of this particular material that I am presenting. No? So Amy will announce that later at the end of the program. Okay, so let's go back to the metrics. No? So time to fill, which is the average days to hire. So you can benchmark by role type, or by industry. Cost per hire is the total recruitment spend per hire. So this is great for budget comparison, which is usually done during your planning session. Offer acceptance rate, no? Percentage of offers accepted signals competitiveness, no? So that means that if you have a high acceptance rate, offer acceptance rate, that means no that uh, the offer that you're going to provide your potential employees are competitive. Now, if you're getting a lot of rejection regarding offer acceptance, that means it's time for us to be able to check our benchmark. Okay? Another, of course, is sourcing channel effectiveness, meaning, no, ano ba yung channel or recruitment source that tends to have conversion? Okay? So, yun yung kailangan natin gawin in terms of using the sourcing channel effectiveness. Okay? So, that's the first metric. The second is retention and productivity. So, for retention and productivity, this will be ideal for benchmarking engagement and organizational health. So what are some metrics that you can use? Number one, of course, you have voluntary turnover rates. Okay. This is comparing by tenure, by department, or by job level. Also, you may choose to look at the new hire retention rate or 1 year retention rate, no, which is a key for onboarding effectiveness. Okay. Also, you may choose to look at high performer turnover rate. So this is a critical for talent risk assessment, meaning how many of our high performer are leaving the company and what might be the reason for it. No? So again, you may use benchmarking to do that, to see also what other companies are experiencing as part of retention and productivity. Okay? So again, that's the second group of metrics that you have. Next is your productivity and workforce efficiency. No? So this link to business outcomes and operational benchmark, such as what are your metrics? You have revenue per employee. Again, it's common across industries. And again, this will be great for executive dashboards. Okay. Another metric could be labor cost, no, as a percentage of revenue. No, so para makita natin, ma-assess natin yung cost efficiency natin. Okay. And finally, of course, you have absenteeism rate. Okay? Benchmark by region, benchmark by role, and benchmark by seasonality. Okay? So those are some productivity and workforce. For learning and development metrics, you have training hours per employee. Okay? You can compare this by role or department. And then training ROI, meaning yung bang mga training na kinokonduct natin, no, nagkakaroon ba ng performance improvement, no, and tumataas din ba yung retention natin, no, for every training investment that we are doing for our employees, no? And of course, Another could be internal mobility rate, meaning madali bang na-fill up yung ating mga particular position internally, meaning that we don't have to hire from outside because the talent is already present inside the company. Okay? So that talks about internal mobility rate. Okay? So in that case, nakikita natin yung ating mga learning and development metrics. For employee engagement and culture metrics, here are some very common metrics that we can make use of in our benchmarking. So one is, of course, our employee net promoter score, which is a benchmark by industry or by the region. Okay? Pwede rin tayong tumingin ng engagement index, meaning based on surveys, ano yung ating mga scores na nakukuha. No? So of course, that will mean that we will have to conduct our satisfaction survey with our companies. And finally, you have diversity representation. That is the percent by gender, age, or ethnicity. No? So this benchmark could be against national or industry data. Especially, no, pag usapan natin yung diversity, meaning that pinompare natin yung gender ng isang employee, male or female, for example, and then ano yung age bracket kung saan employed yung company, dito natin makikita that we are, ano yung diversity representation natin. And are we comparable to other industries as well? Okay? Now, here are some example, no? So take a look, no? Medyo hindi siya ganun ka-clear, pero I hope you can do with this, no? So makikita natin um, a sample HR metrics with benchmark and actual progress. Okay? So makikita niyo, we have the KPI on the left side, no? Yung average employee tenure, absenteeism rate, average cost per hire, no? Retention rate, etc. So these are all more or less parang KPIs, no? And then from there, you put in the benchmark, no? So based on what you have researched, no? And then ano yung actual benchmark mo. So that's how you can present your HR metrics benchmark, no? And then on the fourth column, you can put in strategies to improve. Okay, so that more or less when you present your HR metrics, no, this is something that will be informative for your management. Okay. Another one, as you can see here, sample HR benchmark, benchmarking your HR department against comparable organization. Okay? So as you will see here, meron kang ditong data on HR FTE ratio by function, meaning ilang FTE or ilang bang tao yung meron ka sa HR based on industry. So you can use this if you need to build a team in your organization based on the number of people that you have, no? And of course, if you have a certain plan. No? Also, you may take a look at the time allocation by function, meaning how much time is allocated by HR to different functions. Okay? So these are again samples of HR benchmark that you can look into, no, and you can use to be able to refer to for your organization. Okay? So again, I've given you some sample reports, no, that you can make use of, no, and hopefully, no, it will make sense for your organization to understand what HR benchmarks are. Now, as part of the process of benchmarking, we have to select our partners and data sources. So in identifying your benchmark partners, you have to choose appropriate benchmarking partners to ensure relevant and actionable performance comparison. No? Of course, you have to utilize also reliable data sources. Okay? Make sure that you use trustworthy data like industry reports and surveys that will support accurate results. Okay? Mahirap kasi kung saan-saan lang natin kinukuha yung ating mga data sources. Okay? And of course, you may leverage your HR network. No? So HR networks provide valuable benchmarking data for human resource management comparison. So, the most basic benchmarking that you can do is you can ask your friends from HR or even non-HR, for example. No? So in that case, that they could be your benchmarking partners and data sources. Okay. So in other companies, what they try to do is really they try to reach out to them, no, and then request for certain data. No, it will do well if if the data is not confidential, etc. No, so as we will see later. Okay. Now, of course, data collection and analysis is important. No, so accurate data collection is important. We have to also do an analysis and of course, interpretation of the results. Okay? Yeah. So itong topic na to, no, really requires a whole different webinar in total. No? So we're actually planning to actually do this, no, na magkaroon tayo ng a full-blown, no, master class on HR benchmarking using data collection tools, no, and how to interpret. No? So hopefully, if you are available for that, no, we will announce that later on, no, as we go. Makikita niyo naman dun sa aming Facebook page kung may mga announcement ng masterclass. So hopefully, we can see you there, no, when we do that particular masterclass. Now, let me show you also what are the advantages and disadvantages of benchmarking, because there are, no. So obviously, ano ba yung mga advantages? We have increasing customer satisfaction. You're able to cope up with competition, no? Improving your company standards. Also, another could be improving your learning methodology, no? Um, and also, and you enhance the work quality, no, that you're doing, no? As well, you're able to improve your efficiency in HR, which is important, no? And of course, you help overcome your weaknesses, especially kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng planning, lagi tayong tinatanong, ano yung mga weaknesses ng HR na pwede nating ma-improve. So, yun yung advantages of doing benchmarking. Okay. On the other hand, what are the disadvantages of benchmarking? Ito naman yon. One, of course, we have the lack of information, okay, which is very common. That's why nakita natin sa survey kanina. Increasing dependency on benchmarking. Minsan, if we're too dependent on the benchmark, no, we can also become blind in terms of ano ba yung dapat practice na gawin natin. The lack of understanding may also be a disadvantage of benchmarking. Kung hindi natin naiintindihan yung bine-benchmark natin, hindi natin pwede ma-compare, no? Sabi nga nila, apples to apples. Okay? Another disadvantage of benchmarking could be copying others. Okay? There's always a tendency, no, especially if you feel that your industry is a much inferior industry compared with what you're benchmarking. So, ibig sabihin, you tend to just copy what other companies are doing without ensuring that there's proper context. No? I always mention this in my seminars and training that when you implement changes, there always has to be the context of the change. Okay? If you're going to propose change, kailangan merong purpose bakit mo siya pinapropose. Ano yung context? Don't just copy. Okay? Make sure that you are providing the context of your proposal. Another disadvantage, of course, of benchmarking is incorrect comparison. Okay? So this is usually, this could be, no, a feedback of your top management. Pwede sabihin, ay, hindi naman pareho yung comparison na ginawa mo in that case. So in that case, that could be the disadvantage of benchmarking, especially if you do not do it the right way. No? And of course, it might be costly, no, because there are some benchmarking that you'll have to really spend for reports, for activities, etc., and resources. And this might be costly for you. No? So that's why you have to make sure that the benchmarking is really with ROI, sabi nga nila. Okay? So those are, again, disadvantage of benchmarking as presented, advantage and disadvantages. Now, the question is, how do we improve HR practices and policies? So ito yung mga pwede natin gawin. We need to benchmark our HR practices. Okay? We have to refine our recruitment processes, enhance our training program, and of course, optimize compensation policies. Okay? So yan yung mga pwede natin gawin. Also, in driving organizational competitiveness, we have to look at performance alignment, meaning yung bang ating HR performance is following industry standard, no? Ensuring that we are driving organizational success. No? Also, another is to enhance organizational agility. Ibig sabihin, nagiging agile ba yung organization? Okay? And finally, another is competitive advantage. No? So effective benchmarking provides a strategic edge, improving our market position and growth potential. Now, of course, another reason why we have to do benchmarking is to support talent management and employee engagement. No? So, yung mga talent retention strategies natin, kailangan i-benchmark natin siya so that we can try to compare with successful HR initiatives. No? So, for one, for example, kung very good yung practice natin in terms of talent retention, makikita natin that it could support, no, our initiatives. No? And of course, yung ating mga employee engagement. Kailangan natin gumawa ng benchmarking to highlight programs that will increase employee satisfaction and again, foster professional growth. Okay? Sabi nga natin, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, meaning if it is already done well in other organizations, then we can try to refer to it, benchmark to it, and then eventually implement that in our company. Okay? Now, um, for us to understand, no, so far what I've already discussed about benchmarking, let me give you a sample application with this particular compensation benchmarking survey. No? So, papakita natin paano ba natin ginagawa yung benchmarking survey, no, as a particular method for checking our compensation. So, sa compensation benchmarking survey, meron ka ring mga steps. Okay? So, of course, you have number one, you do survey planning. And then step two, you do market benchmarking. And then step three is you present your findings. Okay? So, the most important step when you do your compensation benchmarking um, is number one, you need to choose uh, your comparator or competitor. Okay? Meaning, kanino ka ba nagbe-benchmark? No? Because uh, it will be a waste of time if your benchmarking would be focused on too many industry, for example. So you need to be able to focus on your competitor. No? Also, another important step here is job matching. Okay? So I'm not sure if you're familiar with job matching, but that happens during the benchmarking. So let me explain what you're going to do. Okay, so for the survey planning, as we've said, when we do our survey planning, the first step is for us to benchmark positions. No? So the company may select and agree with the benchmark positions that are unique, critical, span across the functions, um, span across different levels, or there are certain minimum qualifications that you are looking out for this particular position, and what is the average experience that you are when willing to be able to compare it with. Okay, so that's the first step. So we need to be able to list down positions that we will use for benchmarking. Okay, now after that, we need to do job matching. So job matching is where you try to review, if you can, the job description of the benchmark position. Okay? Reviewing this would mean understanding the objectives of the position, meaning can we try to see kung ano ba yung ginagawa nila talaga, ano yung objectives nila? What are their primary responsibilities? No? Yung mga activities nila na occupy 80% of their total time. No? Are there other additional responsibilities? Okay. And then are there people responsibility like performance assessment, leadership, recruiting, and development? No? So, of course, another job matching is to look at the knowledge and skill requirement. Ano ba yung minimum qualifications nila for that particular position? Ano yung work experience na kailangan to carry out the primary responsibility? Okay? So, the purpose of job matching is to help group similar jobs and differentiate unique jobs. Okay? So, that's what we call job matching. Now, as part of the benchmarking survey, no, paano natin gagawin yung data collection natin, yung processing of the reports. Okay. So for step two, the data collection for our survey, after we have done our job matching, we can try to collect salary data, no, from participating companies. It would also be good to get information on benefits. Okay. Again, for benefits, you have, of course, the mandatory and then company sponsored. You might want to also look into the variable pay data if they have, no? Yung mga data on commissions, bonuses, incentives, etc. So these are for the data collection, no? Long-term incentives might be yung mga pang-retirement or do they have parang pensions, for example, for the employees, for example. So those are data collection for survey. Yeah. Again, the data to be processed either by a consultant and then put in a standard format, no? Okay, so step three is to present the survey findings. No? So typically, when you present the survey findings, you can present quantitative reports, no? And usually pag quantitative analysis ito, pwede mo i-present yung mga basic salary, basic plus allowance, no? Basic plus variable pay, etc. So, these are parang quantitative analysis report, no, na pwedeng ipakita. Okay. Also, for the survey findings, pwede mo rin ilagay some reports or analysis in different levels like management level, job family, no, other employees, for example, etc. So those are the presentation of the survey findings. Again, quantitative report naman, on the other hand, might include benefits practices and other trends like insurance, retirement plans, company car provision, loans, special or unique benefits of that company, no, and other things, no, like salary increase, inflation trends, etc. Okay, so this is our presentation of survey findings. Now, when you come up with the reports, okay, here are some sample of the reports. Okay, so you have here the survey results of different positions, ano yung mga benchmark mo, and then of course your market. Okay, so makikita mo dyan, you have the certain data, no, like the P10, the median, etc., etc. Okay, now where do we use the survey, no, the benchmarking survey? So first, your compensation benchmarking can be used for salary position analysis by looking at the grade or management level, the line and support functions, no? As well as individual employee. No? So that's number one. Second, the creation of pay ranges, okay, of which I teach. No? So as was mentioned earlier, that we conduct, no, yung ating mga seminars on job evaluation and designing salary structure. No? So please wait for that. No? Meron kaming offering this coming um, November or December, if I'm not mistaken, no, yung salary budgeting, which again, we will discuss this more, no, of how we can use survey, no, to be able to do salary budgeting. Okay. So again, pwede mong gawin. The survey result would be comparison. Ayan, makikita mo yung position, the number of employees, the difference. Ayan. Pwede mo rin gawin by job family or department wise. Okay. So again, budgeting, they're used for surveys for budget for salary increase, no? Yeah, so they try to poll across different industries on average increments. A report is presented industry-wise. No? It will now help companies get the market trend. And again, plan for their own budgets for salary increases. So again, to implement our survey results, one purpose of that is for correction. Okay, when we do our benchmarking, the result of our benchmarking is to correct salaries or make some adjustments. Okay? So that means, no, kailangan pag-aralan yung mga different functions, select your critical talent, no, na kailangan ng immediate correction. Of course, you have to supplement it with some hiring data, exit and hiring data, no? And of course, get approval from, of course, top management for this one. Okay? So, pwede siyang gawin for salary correction. Okay. Also, you may implement survey results for creating pay ranges. That means na you will study the market across position, analyze and compare them with desired positions in the markets, no? And then create pay levels. Yeah. So again, all of this are discussed, no, eventually in our uh, uh, master class. No? This is yung master class natin is with pay already, no? So meron na siyang specific fee, no? And I hope, no, if you are enjoying this particular webinar that you're attending, no, so you might want to consider attending such particular program. Okay, I now come to the part of what are the challenges, no, and best practices in HR benchmarking. So let's discuss this. So again, the common challenges and pitfall for benchmarking is data availability, okay, which again was evident in the survey earlier, right? Okay, so that's one. Inconsistent definition could be another one. No? So kailangan ma-define natin talaga kung ano yung term na ginagamit natin. No? Another could be confidentiality concerns. Okay, protecting sensitive information is critical, but again can restrict information flow. Okay, and finally, the resistance to change. Huh? sometimes organizational resistance can slow down the adoption of new processes and technologies. As expected, kapag nag-implement ka sa organization ng changes, especially if you're referring to external benchmarking, for example, this could be welcome, with some resistance. Now, of course, how do we ensure data accuracy? We need to uh, create standardized measures for our benchmarking. Another is to have clear partner communication, meaning kailangan makuha natin yung tamang data. So that starts with clear communication. Okay. And of course, how do we integrate benchmarking insights into strategic decision making? So kailangan, we need to translate our insights into clear, actionable strategies for success. Okay? So kailangan pag-aralan natin yung data itself. No? So when we're presented with the data, we have to be able to first understand the data and then again understand our company data as well. No? And then of course, align our objectives. Strategy should always align closely with our overall business goals. Sabi nga natin, if you want to be strategic HR in the company, you have to find out what are the organizational goals and objectives. Doon sila nagsisimula. Now, as I try to wrap up yung ating session for this afternoon, no? I'm now down to the last few parts of this discussion. What is the future of HR benchmarking? No? Especially because of the technology that we have right now. So number one, for the future of HR benchmarking, um, yung generative AI-driven benchmarking will automate benchmarking reports, simulate workforce scenarios, no, and you can actually even create, yung tinatawag nating completed staff work based on live data. Okay? So expect the tools can instantly compare your organizational metrics to thousands of uh, peers and suggest interventions. So I assume, that it will become more sophisticated in the next coming years, more powerful as I've seen it. No? So yung ating benchmarking will be driven by generative AI. Second, as a future of HR benchmarking, uh, focus would be more on experience-centric metrics. So benchmarking will shift from operational KPIs to employee experience indicators such as psychological safety, career clarity, and the digital fatigue. Right? So this will be tracked in real time and tied directly to retention and engagement strategies. So we are seeing that the focus of HR would be more on not just the operational KPIs, but more on the employee experience. Okay? Kasi sabi natin, yun yung kine-create natin as HR professionals, we are creating an employee experience in the company. Okay? So that's the second feature. Third, for the strategic workforce planning integration, benchmarking will no longer be a side reports. It will be embedded into your planning dashboards. Okay? You will see predictive modeling for talent gaps, succession risks, and skill evolution over time. No? So this is quite exciting, I would say, because the way we're looking at it, yung benchmarking natin, hindi na siya very traditional or very crude, in terms of how we do benchmarking, but it will be, again, connected to our strategic planning. Okay? So that means na whenever we do our benchmarking, it will be a basis, for major company decision making. That's why I'm telling you as HR, that you need to be able to build your skill in terms of benchmarking and research so that you can convince your company in terms of benchmarking. Okay? So those are the three, three general feature of HR benchmarking. And so I hope, I've given you a good snapshot of what benchmarking is all about, and I hope that this particular webinar was helpful for you, So as a conclusion, as I wrap up yung ating webinar for today, I'm about to close. To conclude our webinar for today, since we've talked about benchmarking, so number one, Benchmarking is used for strategic comparison. Again, that involves comparing organizational processes to identify areas for improvement. So always, no, when we do benchmarking, we are in the lookout for the area for improvement. Okay. Second, benchmarking also allows us to optimize our HR function. Um, yung mga benchmark data helps organization optimize the HR function for better efficiency and effectiveness. Okay. And finally, as a conclusion also, because of benchmarking, we're able to drive sustainable success in our organization. So with the proper use of benchmarking, it will drive sustainable solutions. By again, making sure that you have um, relevant data, no, that will influence your HR decision making. Okay? So with that, no, I wrap up, no, yung aking webinar for this afternoon, talking about how benchmarking, uh, how to do benchmarking that really matters to you. No? So at this point, um, let me now open the floor for some questions or comments that might have been written in the chat box, no, that we will try to answer briefly, no, as we go into our Q&A and of course some final announcements.
Ayan. So, again, thank you everyone. For those who are still here, no? I think majority are still tuned in. This is the best part actually of the webinar. You get to ask directly Ronnie, no? Who's a full-time consultant, questions. Let's go to the first question that we received here. Is job matching and job evaluation the same? It's one question
Okay,
from our audience.
that's a good question. No? Uh, the basic answer is that they are not. No, job evaluation is defined as comparing positions internally. No, meaning when you do job evaluation, the result would be the job grade or job level. Okay, so that's why you do job evaluation. Job matching, on the other hand, is used externally, meaning that when you match the job, no, the purpose for that is to benchmark with the right position. Why do we have to do that? Because sometimes, given a lot of information that we have right now, certain information might not be the same on what you're collecting. So meaning, for example, when you get some data, tapos unqualified yung data, you have to make sure that you have to do some job matching. As an industry practice, job matching, at least no, yung rate of job match should be at least 70%. Meaning, kunwari, when you compare two positions, no, your position as well as a position from another company, when you compare them, they are basically at least 70% the same. That's what you mean by job matching. So it is used for external benchmarking.
All right. I hope that we were able to address that question. Ayan. And so thank you for those who's sharing their feedback. Thank you so much, April. Just a question here. May I ask, how do you recommend balancing external benchmark data with our organization's unique culture and strategic goals, especially when the benchmark suggests changes that might conflict with our established values or practices?
Yeah, okay. That's a good question, no? Technically, no, kapag nakakakita tayo ng differences in terms of our internal benchmark, tsaka yung ating external benchmarking, meron tinatawag, no, which is part of yung one of the what we call the tools in organizational development, no, of which I have been recently certified, no. Meron kami tinatawag na force field analysis. Ano yung force field analysis? So, ibig sabihin, may mga contributing and then factors that inhibits the change from happening. So because of that, no, you have to still present it. Ibig sabihin, internally, ito yung culture natin, pero this is the aspired culture. Okay? And because of that, kailangan mo tingnan kung paano ma-adapt yung external. No? Not all of it, but part of it, no, to improve the culture inside. Yeah. So that's yung for that question.
All right. Okay, so again, thank you everyone for those sending in their questions. And if you are interested to get the exact presentation material that's been used in this webinar, you can send us a request over at our email here that you can see on top of me, no, yung info.ertalentreachph.org. And if you would like to join more webinars, no, free and paid, we conduct this on a monthly basis, the free one. And also, we announce online webinars through our Facebook page. We also run ads. So I hope that you can, after this program, no, you can follow our platforms. This webinar is also going to be put on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you subscribe. No? So we're putting in our free videos there, so you can watch the other free webinars that we've conducted at your own convenient time. Ayan. So, and thank you sa mga feedback, no? Yeah. So there's another question here. Yung external benchmarking, paano makakakuha sa different companies? Hindi po ba confidential po yung salary per company? Ano po ang effective way to get data like this?
Okay, that's a very good question to ask, ano. And again, no, for me, no, what I would be advising you with regards to that is to use yung ating mga benchmarking reports, no. And part of that, no, of course, is to meron tayong mga credible sources that you can look into, no. So one of them, for example, would be PMAP. So PMAP has a survey report, no, that integrates different organizations, no? So just to ano, no, let me just illustrate it para mas maintindihan ng ating mga participants, no? So just to share with you, no? So an example. Okay. So let me just So an example of survey data that you can benchmark with. Okay. Can you see this? Yeah. So this is an example of a survey data where it's based on job level, no? And this is a survey done. Meron siyang by location, meron siyang Metro Manila, provincial, and then of course by disciplines. Okay? So this is an example of a benchmark report that is done well, at least on a regular basis, no? And if you'd want to know more about that, no, so you can inquire with us, you can email with us, no, of how you can get such data or reports regarding salary and benefits.
And I think those reports are, ano, no, you purchase them, I believe, no?
Yes.
Ah,
So meron mga
so
certain fee, no, that you have to pay if ever that you're going to invest in them.
next. Yan, okay. Again, we're inviting you to, meron ba dito, for those who are still here, mga taga Angeles, or or working in Clark, or at least in Subic, because we will be conducting a seminar in November, I think, if I'm not mistaken, around November 12th, ganong day. We will be announcing that very soon, towards the end of the month. You may be, if you're following us, there will be more information on this. So it will be more about something similar to this, no? And also something about salary and evaluation. So we're still, so abangan nyo na lang po, we're still designing the program. We're finalizing it. So we're really looking forward. So, to conducting this, because we're actively, actively partnering with different organizations in the South. Ayaw naman naming iwanan ng North, no? Because we do have some clients as well there. So we're doing a seminar in Angeles very soon. So watch out for our announcement on that. Ayan. So, I think we still have time kung meron pa kayong questions. Otherwise, if you have some other questions, you're welcome to either send us a message on our Facebook page, send us an email here at Talent Reach, no? And if you would like to get a copy of the presentation material that was used here, you send us an email. We'll give in the instructions on where you can pay. So, dun sa aming mga payment platforms, no? So we have GCash, we have Maya, and if you would like, if you would prefer a bank transfer, meron din kami mga bank accounts. It's only for 200 pesos. So please do send, and you can expect to receive, no, yung materials. Just give us some time um, to create them for you and finalize, no, 3 days after, so working day, no, so you can expect that after the webinar, so you still have some time, to think about if you would like to get them, but the this particular recording, you can go to our that's why I'm inviting you to go to our YouTube channel, Talent Reach. No, nandun pa yung ibang mga free webinars namin. So I hope that you can subscribe to our channel so that you can also take advantage of the other topics that we've covered over the last few months. Ayan. So, meron pa ba tayong last question? Let me check with...
Yeah, I think meron tayong question na na-receive, no?
okay. Here.
This is coming, yeah.
When doing external benchmarking, is it important to do it within the same field? Like, can I use reports from academe in a construction setting?
Okay. Again, no, when I say context, no, of your benchmarking, usually, no, when you are talking about certain types of data, like for example, you're talking about salary data, no, which I presented earlier. So when you are using that, ang advice ko lagi is to follow the rule of three, meaning that you can get data from basically from the same industry, two responded companies, and then one unrelated. Okay? So it could apply to salary survey, no? Pero for other functions, as I mentioned kanina, if you were listening dun sa topic ko kanina about functional, minsan kasi pwedeng nag-iiba siya based on function. Okay? So if that's the case, then I would suggest na you focus on, kunwari, kung academe ka, i-focus mo yung benchmark mo ng academe na recruitment, training, for example, because it's much relevant. Pero with regard to salary, pwede mo siyang gawing multi-industry.
I think there's a similar question here, no? I'm not sure if that your answer applies to this question, but let me go ahead. The application of benchmarking in the presentation seems to be contextualized on mid to large scale businesses. In the context of small scale local businesses, assuming we collected the data, which shows valid and reliable results, and then the data tells us to do this, the common dilemma is the limited budget that the company has. How can we still benefit from the advantages of benchmarking in this context?
Okay. Again, no, as I've mentioned, may mga limitations si benchmarking pagdating sa application with your own respective organization. So that's why, if you remember dun sa process of HR benchmarking, in planning the benchmarking, you have to ask the relevant questions that saan ka magko-collect ng data. No? And if you're going to collect the data, you have to be able to scale it down. No? Meaning, kunwari, kung if you're a smaller organization, ito lang yung kaya mo, or at least you are at this level in terms of financial, then you have to scale it down. Okay? So that means medyo in terms of, let's say, financial, or yung, let's say, starting your salaries, for example. So you start with ano yung kaya mo, no? Or for benefits, I would suggest go with the traditional benefits muna, meaning kung ano yung mandatory, no? Huwag mo munang gamitin yung mga uh, industry practice because it might not be applicable to you, no? So there will come a point na isang organization that the organization can be able to accommodate. Okay? So that will depend on your organization, kasi ang magsasabi niyan would be your top management or your finance na kaya na natin. Okay? So the important thing is HR is doing their job, no, to collect the data. Okay? Ayan. So, yun ang importante dun sa benchmarking na sinasabi natin.
Okay, so we have a few more questions. I hope we can still accommodate them. Ayan. So this
Yeah.
question is,
Yeah. Thank you for those questions, ha? Ayan.
yes, ang gaganda ng mga questions. So, very engaging. Next question is, what challenges do you normally face in interpreting benchmarking data and translating it into actionable HR strategies?
Okay. Some misinterpretation of benchmark data is yung historical. Okay. So, sometimes when we don't understand the historical of that benchmark data, we can be overwhelmed. Sabihin natin, ay, bakit ang taas niya na, for example? So, when we forget to look at the history of that particular benchmark data, no, we will find out na meron siyang pinagdaanan or at least meron mga challenges, no, before natin achieve yung ganong klase ng data. So that's why when you are doing benchmarking, kailangan mong tingnan yung konteksto ng tinitingnan mo. Okay? So, if you look at some reports, for example, always take a look at, is this the current? Were there previous reports, for example, etc. Okay? Kasi doon, mas maintindihan mo bakit naging ganun sila. Always ask the question, why did this happen to them? Okay? So because of that, you will be more curious. No? So one of the things that you have to remember when you are dealing with data is curiosity. Okay? Don't just accept it as it is. No? Be curious about it. No? And then try to ask questions na, bakit kaya naging ganito sila? No? And of course, ask questions also in your company.
I think meron siyang follow-up question, no? So, what sources or tools do you recommend for reliable HR benchmarking data?
Okay, so far, based on well, at least based on my experience, no, the one from PMAP and ECOP, no, is definitely reliable for me because I've used them several years already. For of course, generally, although medyo a little bit more expensive, you have the reports on from Towers Watson's or Mercer, no, and just recently, I've seen also that Sprout Solutions, no, the payroll provider, no, is also providing some benchmark reports. So you can check that out. Yeah, so it will be good, no, if ever you can source them out. So those are some of the sources that I've used over a period of time.
And again, thank you everyone for sending in your questions. I hope that we were able to address them. I know that you have some more questions, no? So you're welcome to send them over on email or send us a message on our Facebook page. If you look at your chat box, there's a link there, no, for our feedback. So we really would appreciate hearing back from you about this particular webinar. So I think there's just 3 questions there. I hope that you can find it's going to be less than a minute for you to complete. So please do um, go to that particular link and send us a feedback how you found this webinar. And if you have some suggestions, no, you're welcome to put that in there as well. And let me see if there's any more questions here. Ayan. So again, send us a request on our email if you would like to get a copy of this presentation or this webinar. Okay, so again, dun sa mga nandito pa, maraming salamat po for joining us. I do hope that, wherever you are or if you're traveling home, ayan, pa uwi, please do take care and I hope that you stay dry. And again, please do follow Talent Reach on YouTube, LinkedIn, and our Facebook page. We're definitely going to be having announcing the upcoming events that we'll be having online and also face to face. So I hope that you follow our social media platforms. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night. Thank you.
See you in our next webinar. Thank you.